This is the Missouri River below Holter Dam. That's one of our favorite trout streams, even though we're not always that super successful here. This was our last shot at the Missouri for this year, and an ideal place to shoot some tests with the new Garmin 360-degree VR camera. Don't hold your breath for a spectacular fishing video. However, the 360 camera is definitely a different look. In putting this together, we learned many things we would do differently and some techniques that work well. A couple of suggestions for watching 360 video if you haven't before. If you're on a computer, use the mouse or the navigation button to move around the 360 degrees of video. For Mac users, Safari won't work for 360 VR, so you need Chrome or Firefox. For an iPad or iPhone or other brand of tablets and phones, the very best way to view it is in a swivel chair, so turning the chair moves you around the scene. If no swivel chair, you can use your finger to move around the video. The shot we're on now had the Verb mounted with a clamp to the gunnel of our Hyde drift boat, which is actually a pretty cool shot. It doesn't give you a grand perspective, which we used in the opening shots. For that, we had the camera mounted on a light stand in the middle of the leg braces of the back seat.
Very cool.
We anchored it with a couple of sandbags, and that made it a solid shot. We only were able to shoot for a couple of days, since the other three were a combination of mixed rain and snow, complemented by wind. At one point, it was gusting up to 25, which inclines one to stay with the oars and not mess with the camera.
At the end or the beginning of your strip?
At the end.
That's where mine was yesterday.
Yes, that's a good place. Yeah, definitely.
It's not a trout. It's...
Look at watch it, Steve.
Kelly and I were so shocked it wasn't a trout, our brains must have short-circuited, and we didn't have a clue that it was a walleye pike. In the Missouri River? Huh, and a large one at that. It had been 15 years since we'd caught a walleye, so that's our lame excuse. We make movies, we're definitely not fishing experts. The guys at the fly shop were on us for not cracking it over the head and bringing it home for dinner. We actually caught a second one, much smaller, a bit later, pretty much in the same piece of river. And we're told it's not all that uncommon to catch one near the dam. Though in all the years we've fished the Missouri, this is our first. Another obvious angle that's needed in a show like this, and one that we're aware of, is from the bank and or from another boat, to better set the scene and give variety to the shots. Since this was a test, the expense of extra cameras and camera people wasn't justified. Incidentally, the fly we're using is a streamer pattern we designed for Chile and Argentina. Emilio's minnow, named for Emilio Marquez, who owned the Rio Baker Lodge, where it was a proven winner pretty much throughout Argentina and Chile. We found that streamer fishing was catching more fish for us and is a lot more fun than follow the bobber nymph fishing, though the guides who knew what they were doing were catching fish. Also, the weedy water at this time of year was really a pain, especially nymph fishing.
It was a quick fish.
It was a quick. Yeah.
For streamers, we switch lines between a teeny 130 sink tip and a floating line. Our streamer has a cone head and a tungsten bead inside, so it drops like a rock. A heavy fly like that has great action in the water, but will also keep you aware to open your loop. Punch it a little too hard and it comes by at head level, which can be a little scary. We also used only the mics that are on the camera, which are quite susceptible to wind. Kelly placed some felt windscreens on them, but with the super wide-angle lens, it's impossible to get anything thick enough to be effective.
Oh yes! 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 I'm getting out of the weed. Yeah, you can see him flashing. Oopsie.
Hot. Slow down.
Deep, I don't know.
Delicate balance.
Yeah, there's no backing on that reel. Huh?
We're out of the bed.
Oh, good. You want me to teach it so we can take a hike back? Get a picture, see what it looks like. How's that? No, it's got a lot of heart though. Huh? What would you like to do?
Maybe now.
Huh?
Drop it out.
Yep. What?
You wrap me around something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Got it. Okay. Keep free. This is not very big.
No. It's girthy though. It's not long, but it's girthy. That is a really nice healthy fish. Okay, good, I got it. Hey.
You're a good guy.
Nice dry. Wow, nice and bright.
Yeah.
All observations regarding this little film are solicited and most welcome. This is only our second 360 movie, but we're learning. This spring, we plan on a double release of a national park show with one film conventionally and the other in 360. Plus, we'll be using much more advanced cameras for the 360 and inserting live 4K video within the 360 movie.
Brownie!
A baby.
Baby brownie!
I don't think that counts.
Yes, it does.
No.
Oh, yeah.
We caught a few more fish than what you saw on the Verb, so be sure to pan around the scene to see other trout stills we shot. Plus some Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep that were making themselves at home in the RV park.